they tapped me left and right, like a father would play with his 6-year-old son. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. To be honest, I'm not really sure if this is going to be published or not. I just wanted to say what I wanted to say, to record it and save it. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it just yet. But if you're watching, if I publish this, this is the first podcast I publish in 2024, or actually I'll record on 2024. Not sure if I'm gonna publish it. Something interesting happened to me today, and I wanted to share it and record it and keep it for maybe for me to watch in a later date, or maybe for us to share it all together. But anyways, almost a year ago, to this day, we made a podcast about New Year's resolutions, and for many people, I'm sure it's to be in shape somehow, to lose weight for most people, but also to, to take better care of their bodies, to eat better, etc., etc. So in general, I think number one objective for people is to be in shape. Also, I think for a lot of people is to find a better job, find a companion or whatever. But I think the health part is number one on many people's lists. And it was certainly on my list as well. If you remember, I will post the link on the comments. But on that episode, I said, I want to get back in shape. Not necessarily lose weight, but if I'm really honest, a little bit, because it goes hand in hand. I'm clearly overweight, and getting back in shape means, also losing some pounds. I really loved, and I always have loved, working out. It doesn't matter if it's a group workout, if it's a group sports or like individual sports. I love running. I love playing tennis. I love playing football. I love, just doing physical activities in general. Sorry. And I tried Jiu-Jitsu with my dear friend. Thank you again, Thier. He is just amazing. Very, very friendly guy. I did a few podcasts with him. Go back and check them out. He participated in the very few ones, in the the very early ones. And Thier is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu from Brazil. Enough said. This guy is a straight up killer. Very, very friendly, but very, very lethal. He took me to a first. I've always been watching like some UFCs, etc. And then I met him. Then I was fascinated. And to be really honest, he's too modest. And that's how you recognize real killers. A real rich guy will never brag about his money. A real killer on the mats will never brag about what he can do or what he cannot do. And Thier, I did a few podcasts with him and I had a few conversations with him. And he didn't just engage in a way that you would engage with your friends who are full of shit and they'll say, oh yeah, I took this guy, I did this, I did that. Thier is very, very cool. We said, I don't know, maybe, okay. I'm like, you can probably beat this guy. Maybe, I don't know, brother, I don't know. So he's very, very humble, which is, I guess, how you recognize the real ones, I guess. And he took me he was going to train, and he said, you know what? I'm going tonight. Do you want to come? I said, I don't know. I should maybe lose a little bit of weight first. I should get it back in shape. I was planning, and of course I was postponing it like I did all my life. And he said, no, let's do it. Let's go tonight. All right. I said, all right, I'll go. I'll pick him up. And I picked him up, and then we went to a gym. And that session, it was just a couple techniques and then sparring right away uh, for the rest of the session. Sparring, sparring, switch, sparring, switch, sparring. Me as a white belt, I'm like, okay, I was impressed by the jiu-jitsu. Heard about it. I was a fan, but on my couch. Then when I went on the tatami, it was another story. To be honest, I'm a big guy, 6'6". I'm not gonna mention my weight, but I can carry some weight. Um, and I went there, and it was humbling because they tapped me left and right like a father would play with his 6-year-old son. Um, like it wasn't even they weren't even trying. I was like trying to. First of all, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know what position I was trying to get to. I didn't have any um, techniques to tap people, so I really was just wrestling and resisting pretty much. They were all very friendly, and they just tapped me left and right, and very gently. They say it's a gentle sport. I talked to Thier, who told me like, yeah, no, you do get injured. So that's the scary part. But I guess you could get injured riding a bike. So um, first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. When we went there, there is a there is a unwritten rule that some gyms, most gyms, if not all gyms, would recognize a superstar. And the superstar, not necessarily the one you see on TV or social media, but they would recognize greatness and they would invite greatness. And Thier is this guy. And we went there and he was super humble. He waited. I was like following him like a little okay. And he's just like waiting for the okay of the trainer. And the trainer said, okay, you can come in. And then the trainer said, it would be an honor if you could teach the class. The trainer, the coach, head coach is also a black belt. In my opinion, there are different black belts. There is no, it's not regulated as strictly as, like a score in a TOEFL or TOEIC or whatever, like school tests. But it's understood that there's black belts and black belts. But again, I'm just assuming, I'm not really sure. But it seems like Thier is from the top tier. And he took over the class. And I saw my friend Thier, who was like joking and etc., getting into like this warrior mode and poker face, no smile, all business. Let's roll, keep going, more. You do this, you do that. The class was half in English, half in Arabic, half in French. It's just like mostly English. And yeah, let's just roll. This is a technique. This is a technique. Okay, now Thier is going to take over. Boom. And then, okay, you do this, you do that. So I was rolling and very humbling experience. I fell in love with it because there was a mountain in front of me, a mountain to climb. And I was like, wow, there is so much to learn. And you can, apparently, I heard, or I've been told that, after 6 months of practicing, you are better than 90% or 95% of the population who has never trained, because the techniques you acquire after 6 months, you surpass the regular folk, or the regular John who's like just walking around in the street. You are far superior because of the techniques you learn after 6 months. The white belt is a tough one. There are different degrees of white belts. I don't want to get into too many details. I'm not really sure about that myself, but from what I understand, the white belt is the toughest one to go pass. There is different degrees on white belts, and I feel like it's to break people in, it's a little bit tougher since you have to learn everything, and then you keep perfecting it as you go up on the belts. Anyways, really cool experience. And I really, this year, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want to try to find a nice gym. Um, to be really honest, two of my concerns, or a couple of my concerns, were I want to roll with people, but it gets very intimate. Like you are, as Badr Hari would say, kissing and hugging, etc. Like you are really like, it's close combat. Um, so I was worried about the hygiene, I was worried about the awkwardness. There was none of that. I think it's another unwritten rule. You, a lot of people, I'm sure, they take a shower right before they come to class, and then you take a shower after. Everything was super clean. The gym was super clean. Shout out to Elite Gym in Rabat, really cool gym. A little far from my house, so I'm trying to pace myself and see which one I'm gonna join. Anyways, it was really cool, really humbling, and I came back dead tired, just like right now. Because guess what? Tonight, I asked a friend, Usama. I said, hey, listen, do you, and he did a podcast with us. I'll put the link, shout out to Usama. And I said, do you know any good gyms? Which one would you recommend? And he said, well, there are a couple. There is this one and this one. The one I go to, try to go to the one you feel comfortable with the people, with the couch, with the coach, etc., etc. So, and he mentioned, I think it's called Art Kings. Okay. Um, I went to that one. Really cool. So Thier said, I'm going tonight. I asked him. He said, you should try a couple of them, see which one you feel comfortable in, and then you decide. They all have open classes. You go, you roll, you see the ambiance, etc. And then if you like it, then you join. I said, okay, cool. I go to that one. It's a cool gym. Sorry. I go with Thier and a friend of his. I forgot his name. Sorry. Um, I'm still a little dizzy from from rolling and getting beat up. Oops. Um, I go there and I go with, I think his name is Taib. I'm not sure. Anyways, a cool guy that I met tonight, a friend of Thier. We go there. Taib is blue belt, but he didn't wear a belt because he didn't train for a long time. So he came with no belt. The respect in Jiu-Jitsu is out of this world. So there are a lot of rules, you cannot just walk in and say, hey, all right, and just joke around, etc. It's fun, but it's serious fun. You know, it's a little strange. And the way you organize, the way you line up is by belt colors, and you have to say hi in the beginning and then hi at the end, and you ask for permission before you come, and so on. So anyways, so I do that. I go, we train, and I was not ready to go roll today. It was not a good day for me. Right before I decided, well, I was eating actually. And then I had some work to do. And then 30 minutes later, I was in the gym. So I ate maybe an hour and a half before going in the mat. And I felt bloated. I still do. Interestingly, you know, the the Gracie Academy, they say they always eat in a certain way. They don't eat too much. They don't eat too little. They need to be ready to fight at all time. So they never eat too much, and they they never starve. They try to be always ready. Sorry. And I thought that was a great philosophy. Anyways, I was definitely not ready. Overate. Went there, um, and started rolling. First 10, 15 minutes, I mean, the techniques, okay. techniques, they look very easy when you watch them. And then when you want to see them, it's like my brain draws a blank. And then I don't know which hands to use. And okay, can you do it again? So we were in an awkward situation. I was rolling with the three people, with two more people. So me, Thier, and that guy. And so I'm like, yeah, no, you do it first so I can watch again. And I just watched the technique like 30 seconds ago. Then they need to do it again. And then when it's my turn, I still mess it up. Yeah, I'm definitely not gifted in in jiu-jitsu. But anyways, I do the techniques. You know how it looks a lot better when the other people are doing it, and when you do it, it's like it's off. And Thier is very patient, very, very cool guy, obviously. So he shows me, he shows me, he shows me. And the other guy is also really cool. I'm going to get his name and send him this video. I hope he doesn't mind me forgetting names. I'm horrible with names. Sorry, man, but you're a cool guy. And he was also very patient. He's like, no, you do this, you do that. And you, all right, all right. So I keep doing it. And then I get more and more tired. And we come to the point, like midway, I guess. Now we need to do some rolling. Like we're going to roll. We're going to practice. Okay. Sparring is a fun part, honestly. I was waiting for that part where you can just like let loose and forget the rules. I mean, not forget the rules. Try to apply those rules. But it's just I barely could do them, repeat them. So in a real situation, there was no way I would repeat them, execute them correctly. So I try. So I roll with I roll a little bit. I get extremely tired. Then I roll with Thier. And Thier is tough. Very tough. I don't mean like he's a black belt, like he's a killer, of course, but he doesn't like cut you slacks. He goes obviously not 100%, not by any stretch of imagination, but even he's 10%. Like he doesn't give you anything. Or maybe he does, or I don't realize it, but very tough. When I rolled with him, he was like, no, more. And I have a problem that emerged. And this is a problem that I had for a long time, and I kind of managed a little bit. I fight it a little bit, but I'm claustrophobic. And that was another concern. And for people who are not aware of what that is I cannot stand tight spaces. So it's a phobia, and I just can't take it. So when Thier was on top of me and I was trying to push him away, I felt claustrophobic. And he was he was mountain, and I was like on my back. So he was on my belly. He was not like pushing too hard or putting too much pressure, but I felt bloated. I felt claustrophobic, and I had a little panic attack, I think. And very interesting, actually, because I'm reliving the situation. So I was like on my back, and he's on top of me, and I'm trying to push him, but he's like, his base is like very, very solid, and I cannot swing him. And Thier is not a small guy, but he's just smaller than me, but much tougher. And I'm a pretty big guy. Usually, like if I want to push you over, like I manage to do it. But with the techniques of jiu-jitsu and the strength of Thier, there was no way. And I felt claustrophobic, and I tapped. Which is ridiculous to tap in this situation, because he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't even using his hands. He's just mounting me and not letting me go. And I tapped, and he said, "Why do you tap, brother?" But deep inside, I saw the panic attack creeping in a little bit. And I said, no. I ate too much. I think I'm gonna throw up. He said, "Oh, that's fine. Just throw up." I think he smelled my bullshit, but which is it was I wasn't gonna throw up, but I, I honestly, if I'm being honest, I was just panicking because Thier, it's like a wall, and I felt like I was not free. I could not free myself. If he wanted to keep me there, he would keep me there. And this is a very strange feeling. And you have to embrace it. I know in Jiu-Jitsu and so on, it's very safe, especially with Thier. It's super, super safe. And I was a little bit disappointed. And I think so was he. He said, no, come on, man, just try. I said, no, man, please, please, please. And I started begging like like a little bitch, saying, please, 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 just no, Thier, I'm gonna throw up. Just please let go. And he said, just try to. I said, okay. And then he kept saying, just try, just try. I said, okay, just tell me what to do. Give me a technique. He said, I'm not giving you shit. Just try something. And I said, no. Trust me. And the funny thing is that I was trying, actually. This is me trying. So I didn't. So he let go, of course, and I did feel a little sick, to be honest. Like it was not like out of nowhere. So I walked it off, and then I came back, and then he said, I said, I think I'm just gonna sit. I'm not gonna finish the class. And he said, no, just okay. So I sat, I drank, I had a little water, and then I came back, and then there was another technique. And Thier was like, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah. I don't want to end this class with like a fucking panic." So yeah, let me dig in again. And again, dead tired. Like BJJ is a very, very demanding sport. I guess, and from what I understand, you manage the effort with the technique. But when you don't have technique and you don't have stamina, you run out of energy very, very quickly when you don't know what you're doing. But it does require a lot of strength, not strength, like endurance and so on. So, which I thought I was not as bad as I looked, but I guess I am. So we do a technique, and we do it like a little intense. Like we don't do like, okay, soft shoulder to shoulder roll. Like he does it like in a very, very almost like a fight situation. Like he puts a little pressure, a little intensity, and I do too. And I really like that. And honestly, that's what I like. I don't like when it's like too soft, and because I want to feel a little pressure on the other end. I don't want to, okay, like hold my hand. Okay, like I like to feel like a little resistance on the other hand because it's closer to reality. And we did that, and it was like so demanding. And I just red lighted, and my that's it. I was like dead tired, started sweating too much. And I said, all right, I'm done. He said, no, let's just try the last one. He said, time. I'm like, okay, good. You go do it with somebody else. I said, no, we'll do the last one. So we did the last one, and I was tired. So anyways, that was just an episode of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Was really cool. The gym is really cool. The trainer, actually, I met at Elite. I think he was a brown belt at that time. He's a black belt now, and he's the head coach. I forgot his name. Really cool guy. Shout out to Art Kings. It's in L'Océan. Really cool. Really cool gym. Very clean. Very awesome staff. I think they just opened recently. They are doing some promotion videos, etc. So I'll try to find the picture on their link, and I'll post it. Cool. My conclusion: try BJJ. I think it will challenge you. I think you will like it. I think it's almost like running, where, of course, there are a lot more techniques, but it's like very true. You cannot cheat too much, um, whether you have technique and stamina or you don't. And you cannot bullshit your way into it. You cannot fake it. It's a very down to earth, very, very efficient martial art. I tried a couple martial arts when I was very young, of course, like pretty much every young Moroccan and Moroccan boy. Um, Karate, Viet Vo Dao, and so on. Aikido also. Um, then when I was a little bit older, I tried a little bit of boxing. That was really cool, very physical also, um, very draining. Jiu-Jitsu is very cool. So yeah, that was my little thing about my little adventure today with Jiu-Jitsu Thier. Um, I I think it's really cool to try something different, to challenge yourself. And I think it's time for me to really consider getting in shape because it's fun. It's fun to do something fun for more than 30 seconds before you start breathing like a cow and sweating all profusely. I think it's fun to go for long runs and not like, I mean, honestly, running, I'm kind of okay. I can run like 5K without without too much trouble. But yeah, if you are in shape, you can intensify your workouts and they make it more thrilling. Whether you play ping pong, tennis, running, or jiu-jitsu, I think getting in shape is actually pretty cool because it helps you enjoy things more intensely. Yeah, that was my little adventure about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I will see you guys later. Thank you. Peace out.